Hello students, how are you? Hope all of you are fine. So here we begin with electrochemistry. I will start from where we had left in our regular class. We had already completed the electrochemical cell, numericals and all the examples. Now we are starting with the electrolytic cell. Hope you remember what is the electrolytic cell. So in short, I will just repeat it. It is a type of that cell where externally we are providing the electrical energy in terms of battery, voltage, direct mains, and that current, that energy is used to convert it into the chemical reaction, that is chemical energy. So it is totally opposite to the electrochemical cell. So we will start with Faraday's law of electrolysis. Faraday has given two laws which will help us to decide the amount of product that is produced during the electrolysis of different cells. So let us begin with the first law. So basically the first law tells us about the amount of substance that is produced at any of the electrode, whether it is gas or solid or the liquid. So whatever will be the amount of electricity given to that cell, related amount of substance will be either deposited or the liberated. So that is what the first law tells us. So I have mentioned that first law. Amount of any substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolytic solution. Now we have to apply this law in numericals and or in the practical form. So let us see how it can be represented practically. So let us take W, which is the amount of substance in terms of grams which will be produced. Q is the quantity of electricity in terms of coulomb. This is what we provide. Now as per the first law which is given to us, Q and W has a direct relation. So the amount of substance is produced that is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity. Now in order to remove this proportionality sign, we will be using a constant that is Z. So it is a constant in terms of gram per coulomb. Now Z is also known as electrochemical equivalent. That is the equivalent of any substance, which you have already done in 11th standard. What is the equivalent? It is the molar mass divided by number of electrons participating in the reaction. So same equivalent is given here for the Z. Now we will see it in the later part what actually Z stands for. So we have already seen what Q is, that is quantity of electricity, and it is represented as Q is equals to IT. This formula you have done in physics and as well as in 10th science. So Q, quantity of electricity, I, that is current in amperes, T, that is time in seconds. So our original formula becomes W is equals to ZIT. Now as we have discussed, Q is the amount, or we can say quantity of electricity which is required in those electrolysis. Now this depends on oxidation reduction reaction which takes place, because all the type of cells which we have learned or which we have seen, electrochemical cell, electrolytic cell, they all depend on the same type of chemical reaction, that is oxidation and reduction. So here also the Q, that is quantity of electricity which will be provided in the cell, it will depend only and only on the oxidation and reduction of the reactions which takes place in the electrodes. Now it depends on the stoichiometry, that is few will be some where they will be giving 2 electrons or taking 2 electrons, somewhere it will be 3, somewhere it will be 4, somewhere it will be 1. So it depends on the stoichiometry. So for an example, we have aqueous solution of copper sulfate. On passing current, that is voltage, the Cu plus 2 ions from aqueous solution of copper sulfate, they are going to get discharged in presence of electricity, and Cu metal, that is copper metal, is going to get deposited on the cathode. Now during this process we have seen that 2 electrons, that is 2 moles of electrons are required to discharge 1 mole of copper ion from the aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Similarly, we can have any salt solution of silver nitrate, silver chloride. So silver will be in +1 state. So aqueous solution of silver in +1 state requires 1 mole of electron, and it will get converted into 1 mole of silver metal. Just as here we have 1 mole of copper metal, here we will be having 1 mole of silver metal. So this is what we are talking about, the electrons which are generated during oxidation reduction reaction on the passage of quantity of electricity Q. Now moving in detail to understand how this Z will be calculated. Now let us understand the relation of Z, Q, quantity of electricity in detail. Now we have seen in this reaction that electrons are being passed, or electrons are being used for oxidation reduction reaction. Now let us see. The charge on one electron is 1.6021 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, right? So charge of 1 mole of electron will be same value, 1.6021 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 19 multiplied by Avogadro's number, 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. That is obvious. We are having 1 electron, and here we are having 1 mole of electron. The multiplication is equal to 9648 coulombs per mole. Now this 96487 is approximately taken as 96500 coulombs per mole. This approximate value is taken for numericals and calculation purpose. Now this quantity of electricity is called as Faraday F. So 1 Faraday is equals to 96500 coulombs per mole. Now as I told you that this Z or this Faraday has a relation with the Z. We will be discussing the value, how to define the value of Z. So as here we have discussed, 1 Faraday is 96500 coulomb per mole. Now 1 Faraday charge is also equal to 1 gram equivalent of substance at electrode. That is, this is a charge which we are providing. So if I have taken 1 Faraday, it will be producing 1 gram equivalent of substance at electrode, any of the electrode, anode or cathode. So if I convert this Faraday into coulomb, this relation, so 1 coulomb will be equals to 1 gram equivalent of substance divided by 96500. This relation I have used here. So what formula we are getting? That coulomb is equals to equivalent of substance, which can be represented as capital E, divided by 96500. Now this ratio of equivalence of any substance divided by 96500 is represented as Z. So Z becomes E upon 96500. We have the formula W is equals to ZIT. So it becomes W is equals to E upon 96500 IT. Now as discussed, E is the equivalence of any substance. In 11th standard you have already seen how the equivalence of any substance is calculated. I have just repeated the formula over here. So E is the molecular weight of that substance or atomic weight of any element divided by number of electrons participating in the electrolysis. So now this number of electrons will be calculated from oxidation and the reduction which takes place. So students, this is the first law of Faraday, which tells us how to calculate the amount of substance that is produced during the electrolysis. So the formula is W is equals to ZIT, where Z stands for E upon 96500. We will see the numerical later on. Now let us move to the second law of Faraday. Now, second law of Faraday, it tells us that what happens when more than one electrolytic solutions or more than one electrolytic cell are connected in series. So basically this second law of Faraday tells us when there is a series connection between different electrolytic solution. I have taken one example that suppose we are having two electrolytic cell which contain copper sulfate solution and AgNO3, that is silver nitrate solution. When same amount of current is passed through these two solutions, these two electrolytic solutions, and they are connected in series, then we have a relation. Weight of copper deposited upon weight of silver deposited will be equal to equivalent weight of copper divided by equivalent weight of silver. So this is what the relation we are having in the second law of Faraday. So the statement comes as, when same quantity of electricity is passed through different electrolytic solutions connected in series, the weights of substance produced at electrode are directly proportional to their chemical equivalent weight. So as discussed in the first law, this chemical equivalent weight are nothing but the E, capital E, equivalent weight, atomic mass or the molar mass divided by number of electron which are getting participated in the reaction, redox reaction, that is oxidation and reduction. Now we will be having a few example, 1 or 2 example of your NCERT exercise where we will be using these two Faraday law. Okay, so just a minute. So here I have taken the exercise question, question number 12. Okay, students, you can try it by yourself also. I am just taking this example. Now in this question, what you are mentioned, what you are asked to do, how much charge is required for reduction of, first one is 1 mole of Al plus 3 to aluminium Al metal. Now we are not mentioned whether in terms of Coulomb or whether in terms of Faraday. So we will we will bring our answer in both Coulomb as well as in Faraday. So as given to us, we are asked 1 mole of Al plus 3, it has to be converted into Al, right? So as we have seen Al plus 3 and we want to convert it into Al. So this is aluminium ion. We will take 3 electrons, it is obvious. So 3 electrons and we are getting 1 mole of aluminium metal. Now in the previous first law of Faraday, we have seen that 1 mole of electron is 96500 coulombs per mole, or we can take 1 Faraday is equals to 96500 coulombs per mole. So basically 3 moles of electron, you can see that this is 3 electron, that is 3 moles of electron. So 3 moles of electron means it is 3 Faraday, right? So 3 Faraday, and here we are getting 1 mole of aluminium metal. Now 3 Faraday, this is the charge in terms of Faraday. Now I want to convert it into Coulomb. So what I will do? 3 into 96500. The multiplication of these two, the product of these two, 3 multiplied by 96500, the answer will be converted into Coulomb. So either you can write 3 Faraday, that is the charge, or you can write 3 into 96500 in terms of Coulomb. It will give you 1 mole of aluminium. Now in this question we are having the second one, 1 mole of copper. You can see the second question, 1 mole of Cu plus 2, it has to be converted into copper. So this is the first one. Now this is the second. Now in second question we have Cu plus 2, 1 mole, which has to be converted into Cu. So here we will require 2 electrons based on the stoichiometry. So 2 electrons means 2 Faraday and we are getting 1 mole of copper metal. So 2 Faraday, that is the charge, and we want to convert it into coulombs. So 2 into 96500 coulomb, right? So now let us move to third one. The third question we are given, that is we have 1 mole of MnO4 minus and it has to be converted into Mn plus 2. So let us try. We have MnO4 minus 1 and that has to be converted into Mn plus 2. Now see here, we will have the oxidation number because all these are nothing but the redox reactions, oxidation reduction reactions. Another thing, that how we have decided these electrons on the basis of their charges, on the basis of their stoichiometry. So here also we will use that. We will see the oxidation number of Mn here in MnO4 minus 1. That comes out to be plus 7. You already know it, how to calculate, right? So it is plus 7 and this is, we want to convert this Mn of plus 7 to Mn plus 2. So what we require is 5 electrons, right students? Hope you are getting this. It is the 11th standard redox reaction, balancing of redox reaction. So Mn from plus 7 to Mn to plus 2. So we have 5 electrons. So 5 electrons means 5 Faraday. So the charge is 5 Faraday and we have 1 mole of Mn plus 2. So 5 Faraday means 5 into 96500 coulombs, right? So this way we can use the Faraday's law. Now let us see one more example. The next question here is exercise question 3.13. Now what we are asked here, that how much electricity in terms of Faraday. We are already mentioned that electricity in terms of Faraday is required to produce, the first question is 20 gram of calcium from molten CaCl2. So the first one is, we want 20 gram of calcium from CaCl2, right? So let us start. Now in CaCl2 we have calcium as +2 state, so I will be taking Ca +2 and I will convert it. We want calcium, so it will get converted into calcium. So Ca +2 to Ca, that requires 2 electrons, right? So 2 electron means 2 Faraday, as the first law of Faraday tells us. So 2 moles of electron, that is 2 Faraday of charge, and 1 mole of calcium it is. This is 1 mole, right? So the 1 mole of calcium is 40 grams. The atomic mass of calcium is 40 grams, right? Now 2 Faraday is the charge what we require for 40 grams. But how much we are asked? We are asked for 20 grams. So 20 grams of calcium will require how much Faraday? You can see that it will be all 1 Faraday only. Just a cross multiplication, right students? 20 into 2 by 40. Okay. So now let us move to the second one. Second part, what is given? Same question is there. How much electricity in terms of Faraday for 40 gram aluminium from molten Al2C? Okay, so we want this one. Okay, we want 40 gram of aluminium from Al2O3. Okay students, so here we have Al2O3 where aluminium is in +3 state. So I will be taking Al +3 and I will convert it into Al, and that requires 3 electrons, that is 3 moles of electron, that is 3 Faraday. So it is 1 mole, this is 1 mole of aluminium, which is equals to 27 grams. The atomic mass 1 mole of aluminium is 27 grams. Now but what we are asked? We are asked for 40 grams. 40 grams will be how much? The charge in terms of Faraday for 40 grams of aluminium will be how much? That is cross multiplication, 40 into 3 by 27. Now this approximately comes out to be 4.4 Faraday. Okay. Similarly, you can convert this Faraday into coulombs also simply by multiplying it with 96500. Okay. So this way students, you can try more numericals by your own. If any doubt, we will have that doubt session later on, but I was just simply trying to explain first law and second law of Faraday. Thank you.